Final one. Final topic for today. Capitalism versus crony capitalism. So, we said this after the Capitol Hill riots that we were going to start taking a section per podcast to discuss concepts, to educate you guys more so on the world around us so that you are armed better for the future. So, capitalism versus crony capitalism. This has been a hot button discussion for some time, but I think that it just got hotter because of the Wall Street Bets thing. Here's the reason that I am applauding what's going on with Wall Street Bets, and I'm not. You will never see me say anything positive about like Occupy Wall Street, for example. You know, here's why. Crony capitalism has everybody in here seen the movie Remember the Titans? Hatman and I obviously have. It's actually my servant says check your DMs for apple barbecue sauce. Awesome, thank you.
Ooh,
I will definitely pick some of that up. But anyway, if you've seen the movie Remember the Titans, you'll probably remember a point where the other coach, whose name escapes me at the moment, the white coach, let's call him that, not Denzel Washington, where he is at a point where he is going to be entered into the State Football Hall of Fame because he's a long-time coach, had a lot of success, etc., etc. But because it was the South during, around the Civil Rights Movement, a lot of fucking racist pieces of shit around there. So, given that there were those that didn't want to see Denzel Washington's character succeed because they would think that it would, I don't know, make them look bad or something, what ends up happening is they rig a game to basically have the Titans lose. Because, they were looking at if the Titans lost a single game, Denzel Washington's character would be fired from his job as coaching that school's football team. Even though he was really, really fucking good. So what they do is they put a ref in that's crooked as fuck, that is throwing penalties on everything to try to screw them over. The only thing that stops it is not Denzel Washington's character going up to the ref and saying, "You keep doing this, I'm going to the newspapers, and I will spill everything that I know about this, and you all be screwed." And he ended up losing his position on the Hall of Fame, but I think he ended up getting put in later anyway, because again, you can't deny that the Titans were an amazing football team for high school talent. But that's basically what crony capitalism is. If somebody gets ass mad that somebody else is having success and they're losing in competition, so they go to their friend that happens to be a politician and they lobby or they get bills pushed through that hurt the ability for people to compete. Crony capitalism is basically the people who say they're capitalists going to the government and asking for government intervention to make sure that they can gain and others can't, and limit the ability for certain people to get into the market. It is, in a sense, anti-capitalism. I think it was Ben Shapiro who called it corporatism. Mm-hmm. Basically an idea more for the big guy, less for the little guy. Meaning that the big guys, and this affects business not just in the stock market, but it affects business everywhere. Because the big corporations can move, and they're going to get all the top talent when it comes to work. People who would otherwise possibly be starting their own businesses aren't going to do it. They're just going to work for the big guy. So they get all the top talent. They get everything, and it lessens competition and makes the market stagnant. and really makes everything stagnant. What we are seeing with Wall Street Bets is we are seeing capitalism fight crony capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing these guys using every method that they can to get into Wall Street, make the investments that they want to make, and specifically make moves that compete with hedge funds and everything else. Because here's the thing. With the way that the market is going and the way that the Democrats tend to do things, and looking at Biden's administration, I expect more corporatist movement and crony capitalist movement from them than I do anywhere else. I think Nancy Pelosi's investment in Tesla is obviously a big, marker of that. And one thing that I would suggest to any journalist out there that might be watching, start looking at the stock purchases or the stock purchase history of other Democrat politicians and see how many invest in green energy. Because that's what this is. It enables the politician to make a lot of money on the stocks, and it keeps the rich rich instead of allowing other people to become rich by competing. So that's why I invested. It's why I took my spending money, which would have otherwise have gone to Gundam models or other such stuff this month, and instead put it in the stock market. And I put it into businesses that I either know will move in the future, or ones that, like everybody else in Wall Street Bets, which I'm not a part of, just so everybody knows. I stay out of things like this because I'm a journalist. I got to be able to stay objective. But because I want to see these businesses grow again. I think they've been given a short hand by the government. Because they're basically getting screwed by these COVID regulations that really need to start being lifted. They do. It's ridiculous. So, these are battles worth fighting. And you don't have to start burning something down to do it.
No.
You just play the game, and you be better than the guy you're fighting against.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, and this is the big thing, you have to be prepared to fight the government too. And fight them within the system. Because luckily here in America, we have a system that allows you to fight the government.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the founders intended for you to be able to do. Is to push back on the government if the government gets corrupt. Because that's how this country was founded. We had to kick out a corrupt government, a la the British, because, of lack of representations. So, I've invested a little bit, not a lot. And I think I'm going to keep doing it. And I think that what I want to see more is people have the attitude in government to let the people find ways to increase their wealth. We all should be able to do that. There's no reason that we can't. We need to free the market up even more. And this, I think, is a really good step forward. So, the people have spoken, as they should. There's one of many ways to do it is to open your wallet to the right people, to the right places. Invest in the things you care about. Put your wallet where your mouth is.